Another question coming in from the audience, a candidate saying that they did their research on Admiral and they saw you have a business segment regarding price comparisons, like Confused.com, and saying that this is very different from traditional insurance. Could you tell us more about this segment and how it supports the overall strategy of the company?
Yeah, no problem. So it's quite interesting to see how it came up. So because our two founders were MBA, the idea was really they were not from insurance, so they saw the insurance market as an opportunity to be disrupted. So they were the first one to launch direct insurance, where in the car insurance market, it was mainly broker-led. So they came in and they were the first one to do direct insurance, and that's what really helped them to gain some market shares when they started 25 years ago. And then as the internet was arriving, Henry, our founder, really saw it as an irresistible force. And he was the first one to think, hey, hold on, why don't we have a price comparison website? It seems like a very logical thing to do, but back then no one was doing it. So people sometimes don't know that, but Admiral was the pioneer in price comparison website and aggregators. So we launched the first aggregator and price comparison website, and that really is what really make the business kick off, and that's where we earn so much the market share, because in the UK specifically, there was a real switch in terms of distribution channel, and most British people started using a price comparison website. And if you think about it, it's a fantastic way to get to know the business as well, to kind of understand how the market is working, what people look after, and so on. However, there's a clear, we call it like a bit of Chinese wall between Confused.com business and Admiral, because as you may imagine, in terms of regulation, you can't communicate much information between the two. So it is part of Admiral Group, but there's not so much communication in terms of the data, because obviously they're working with some of our competitors, and we have to respect that, otherwise none of our competitors would go on our platform. So there's this sort of like section between our two businesses. However, we know them really well. Some of our interns would work sometimes in Confused, so they're a very good relationship, obviously, between the senior people and the staff in general between Admiral and Confused, but in terms of information sharing, they are quite separate. And it's a model we've been then expanding. So in France and Spain, we launched also a price comparison website. However, the shift from other kind of distribution channels to the price comparison channel is still yet to happen. So we spend a lot of marketing effort in France, for example, with the Le Lynx brand, to make sure French people switch to price comparison. In Spain, Bracero is doing really well. This shift has happened, and now it's a very well-known brand. But yeah, definitely a very interesting brand. We have an entity called Premium in Admiral that is looking at emerging markets. So although we decided not to launch, or at the moment, but never say never, we may in the future, but launch direct insurance products, we do launch price comparison website in emerging markets. So we launched it in Turkey, Mexico, and the reason is it really helps us to kind of estimate the market first, see how our competitors are doing, see if there's an appetite for direct car insurance. And if the signals are green, then yes, potentially, and then we would potentially launch direct insurance. So it's a great way to test the market, and quite cheap if you think about it. Quite easy to implement.